So I just want to speak on maintaining your sanity in this world. It's a lot of different rabbit holes and online communities and all of that, and even drugs. There's just so many things in this world that can just cause you to lose your sanity and have you just too far gone. For me, I'm just the type of person where I was kind of forced in a position to where I had to be just self-reliant, basically. I had to be able to just go within and depend on my own internal strength. I couldn't really rely on other people or this person over here, this girl over here. I always had to rely on my own internal strength to keep going. So throughout all of these years, I still haven't lost myself. I still haven't lost my sanity. I'm still able to keep pushing, even throughout all the ups and downs, and even with knowing all the stuff that I know and my awareness level. For certain people, I see them on a certain path of enlightenment or trying to quote unquote raise their vibration, and I just see how they end up. Some of them end up on these drugs. They rely on these drugs to get them to a certain level of enlightenment or to raise their vibration and their consciousness. They have to take mushrooms or DMT, or there's just so many different type of drugs out here. I'm just fortunate enough to never have gone down that path of those type of drugs or none of that type of stuff. The main thing I do is just meditate. This is why I speak on meditation a lot. That's the main thing I do. That's it. I just go within, meditate, and just connect with the source like that. I just do things very simple. And I just be noticing with other people, they just are too far gone. Even with certain women, like I'm not even pressed on finding a woman who's like-minded, because it's already hard enough to find men who are like-minded on this path. So I already know it's gonna be 100 times harder to find a woman who's on this mindset. And even if they are quote unquote on your mindset, I just notice things that are off about them. There's just so many rabbit holes out here for women. They got horoscope stuff, astrology, tarot cards. Like there's so much rabbit holes for women that can just take them down a dark path or down a rabbit hole. Even some of this type of occult stuff, like I noticed certain women who they were on a path of enlightenment, and now I see them with like Baphomet Met posters and all of this demonic type of imagery around them. You'll even see like certain tattoos that they have. It's just apparent. I see that stuff in plain sight. But it just shows you how this world can just take you down a dark path. It can just take you too far gone. Like it can have you too far gone. I mean, but you really got to be built to maintain your sanity in this world. If you don't have that internal strength, if you're too reliant on these outside forces and outside communities and certain quote unquote gurus, you're not going to be strong enough to maintain. Or if you're too reliant on these drugs to keep you pushing, you're not going to be able to maintain. It takes a lot of internal strength and willpower to just continue to maintain. But there's very few people who haven't went too far down these rabbit holes or just lost themselves. I just can instantly pick up on it. Like I seen a certain woman who was just, I just was listening to her, like the things she was saying, because that's what I do. I observe. I just listen. It doesn't take any superpower to just observe. I listen. I observe. I pay attention. And I just be hearing the stuff that they say. Like, yeah, you seem like you're like-minded and you resonate with me and all of that. I can instantly be far gone, and I just can't backtrack for people. Once you're too far gone down these rabbit holes, or you're too deep into these communities and just all of this stuff, there's nothing you can do. I just don't get into none of that stuff. And if I know that you partake in that stuff, it's gonna instantly throw me off. Like I don't get into that stuff. I don't get into like that dark occult stuff. Like that's just not me. I don't get into like none of these rabbit hole concepts. But for most people, I pick up on it and notice that they're a part of that stuff, and just the way they think, the stuff that they say, the imagery around them. They even be in these certain religions, like it's too far gone at this point. And that's what most of this stuff is set in place for in the first place. It's set up for you to be at your lowest point and for you to rely on it. That's what most of this stuff is set up for. It's not really benefiting you. It's just here for when you're at your lowest point and you have no hope. And now you have to rely on these certain outside forces. Or you have to rely on certain drugs or certain just a lot of stuff. So many people just went down the deep end with this stuff, man. I'm not even saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm just saying people went too far gone to the point where you can't even backtrack to even get through to them. That's the sad part about it. Once you're too far gone down these rabbit holes, you might not ever make it back. Or it's going to take a long process to heal from it and to renew your mind from it. It might take a lifelong process. And that's just too much for me. I can't backtrack that far to try to get somebody out of a rabbit hole or way of thinking or a certain ideology.